as much or more than vice versa. Joining us right now, this guy.
If Rodrigo Lopez can put this away, the Republic will move on to the U.S. Open Cup Championship game in Orlando.
The Magic Man himself.
Roro versus Pulskamp. The crowd draws to a murmur. Roro, the stutter step. Rodrigo Lopez has sent us to Orlando. The Kings of California are now the Kings of the West, and the Magic will ride all the way to the Magic Kingdom in Orlando. Sacramento wins. Sacramento wins.
The longtime voice of the Sacramento Republic on the call right here on Sactown Sports 1140. The lovely, the talented Rob McAllister. Hey, buddy.
Good morning, Carmichael Dave.
Your voice is hammered as mine this morning.
It's struggling. On that last call there, it was so deafening. I didn't even know if I was coming over the air. So it was just incredible. What a moment in Sacramento.
Now, normally we here on this show, we are very big sticklers when it comes to radio and TV calls. Normally, we are very much against color analysts stepping on calls. But Jay and I both agreed last night that was an exception. That was a pure emotion, and it was one outburst simultaneously. I don't feel like it stepped on as much as it augmented the call. Agree or disagree, Rob McAllister?
No, I agree. Adam Moffat is still sort of new to this. He's been doing it a couple of years, but first full time this season. And he has, from day one, been a guy who has not stepped on calls. It is very hard to do for ex-athletes. And, of course, Adam played with the Republic. But, I think that's literally the second time. And the first time was in Oakland, or against Oakland a couple weeks ago, when Rodrigo Lopez delivered a ball to Felipe. Who, Luis put it in the back of the net to tie it 3-3. So, 2 times in all the games that he's done, and they've all been these perfect moments of just kind of exacerbating this emotion that everyone else is feeling this time.
I know that it's in the moment so much for you, and I know the prep that you do for these games, but I'm always enthralled with the preparation and the thought process going in. How much of that was in the moment, but also, Rob, you had to have thought, whether it was in the shower that morning, the days leading up, it was such a good call with so many call outs, the Magic and the Magic Kingdom and everything. Did you at least have the skeleton of what your final call was going to be going into the game?
I did not until the penalty kick.
Gotcha.
I thought that it's because we knew Orlando had won at that point in time. And so then I felt I had to keep it going. And Kevin Nagel had mentioned something about a Disney story. And I just felt like we had to tie this all together. And, of course, it's Rodrigo Lopez of all players. And I talked to Mark Briggs after, and he had talked about how that was the order they wanted to go into the PKs. But, yeah, no, typically, there is some sense of, hey, this is how it could go. But I didn't really want to do that last night. I wasn't quite sure how it would end. Who would have thought it was going to go to PKs? How are you going to plan for that?
The voice of the Republic, Rob McAllister, with us, and you mentioned it. It was Rodrigo Lopez. And we've been talking this morning, really. We get it. Not everyone's into soccer. We get that this is a Kings town. Nobody has any delusions of where everything ranks. This is an NBA town, and it has been because that's really been our only quote-unquote major league sport. But we've actually been not only trying to rank where this win is for all-time Sacramento wins, but specifically Rodrigo Lopez, who I think has an argument as to being one of the, if not the most clutch and accomplished athletes in Sacramento sports history, going back to that first year in the championship where he was the hero, and then last night where there were so many heroes, including our keeper. But for him to be able to be the guy to slam the door, he is a first ballot Sacramento Sports Hall of Famer. Eh?
I think he's top 3 for sure. I know there's other guys that are beloved maybe as much as Roro, but the miracle of Bonnie where he scored a hat trick to beat LA to move on to the championship game. He was the MVP that year, and to do what he's done this year again. At 35 years of age, he looks like he's 25, and he's just remarkable. And he is a person who, grew up in Southern California, but Sacramento is his home. The reason he's back here is because he wanted to feel like he was coming home. He's loved this city since the day he signed here. And, he really is a great person off the field. The guys in the locker room absolutely love him. And, of course, the fans, how they feel about him. And I really shared a great moment with Roa. Of course, we've known each other for almost 10 years now. And he just gave me a hug. He said, we've had some special moments here, haven't we, Rob? And I'm like, and you, my friend, are a massive reason for those. So I agree. I mean, he is beloved, maybe number one. I know the Doug Christie, Chris Webber era has been huge for Sacramento, but what other single athlete would you put against them? I mean, you talk about Uriah, I heard earlier on the show. And so, I mean, he's an elite company right now.
Rob McAllister, voice of the Republic, with us. We've also been trying to, and this is just to kind of put it in layperson's terms, because we understand that not everybody's a huge soccer fan. What you would compare this to, the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup, a mid-season tournament that's very unfamiliar to American sports fans. And so it's not exact because one's regular season and one's a mid-season tournament. But the closest thing we could come up with, Rob, and feel free to improve on it, would be if the River Cats somehow beat a National League team and advance to the World Series. That's the closest we've been able to come up with.
Yeah, it's probably more like the NCAA tournament because there's 103 teams that start in this thing. And so every team is eligible, and I think that's where it comes in. Now, they have these type of tournaments across the world already. The English Cup is a big one. They have the Champions League type tournaments where the best teams have to qualify to get in and move in. Unfortunately, I don't know why this hasn't caught on, especially with our obsession with March Madness.
Yeah.
This is March Madness, and I think the problem is it's not all in a few weeks. And I think that's really going to be the issue with any type of soccer tournament like this. So it's hard to compare to what it is. But once you see more of these Republic-type teams advancing to the finals, I think you're going to see more of the nation really grabbing hold, because in the soccer community, it's become bigger and bigger over the years. I think it'll start to spill over. I think in the next 5 to 6, 7 years, especially when World Cup is here in the United States, that you're going to see this become a lot more visible. Nightly news and blogs and whatnot will start to really pay more attention throughout these Open Cup runs.
There's no way that a team official or any player would ever look past playing, a mid-level, if not one of the better MLS teams at their stadium. Winning this tournament not only is not a guarantee, but I think the Republic are going to be pretty heavy dogs in this one, as they have been, by the way. But one thing that's not necessarily also being talked about is, should they win, they're going to the CONCACAF Champions League. And that for a USL team to be able to have an opportunity to do that, you want to talk about bringing all kinds of more attention. It's not just, Rob, about this year. It's also about the future as well.
It's incredible. I mean, the chance to play some of the best teams in Mexico and, of course, other MLS clubs. And you're right, this could absolutely put Sacramento on a different level in terms of the soccer world. There's a cash prize at the end of this thing, too. But, Orlando is, I would say, better than Sporting KC this year. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, I was more concerned about playing the New York Red Bulls. They're a much better team. Yes. So I think this is a really good chance for Sacramento. This is going to be a very good game. And, it's interesting. Orlando had these crazy crowds the first couple of years. In USL, they were selling out. And now they're one of the lowest attended soccer clubs in the entire MLS, which is very fascinating. So the atmosphere will be much different. But these two teams, they were the best in USL in 2014 when they were both in the league.
Over 100 teams started. It's now down to 2. Runner-up, Republic are already guaranteed a 6-figure bonus. According to Wikipedia, the overall champ, $300,000 in prize money to go along with that CONCACAF Champions League. I know the broadcast stuff hasn't been figured out yet. There's all kinds of things behind the scenes, but I got a feeling, Rob, you and I are going to be holding hands and looking at Mickey Mouse here in about 2 months. Wonderful call last night, buddy. It's been a long road together, and I know with a lot of fans to get here. And here's to one more, huh?
Hey, if we can get our names stitching the back of the Mickey Mouse ears hats. I'm all in. We'll do it together. Dave and Rob forever, 2022, my friend.
We're gonna wear those glowing Mickey hats, and we're gonna watch whatever their World of Color is at night. It's gonna be, buddy. It's gonna be the most romantic thing ever, and I'm here for it.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for having me on, guys. I'm really excited, and just a great moment for Sacramento.
Always, brother. You take care. That's the voice of the Republic.